YouTube? It's your boys Carter TV. You know I'm back with a story for y'all. Story is about a boy named, not a boy, but a man named Walter. Walter is in the closet, and he has been all his life. Not say all his life, but he has been majority of his life. When he was a kid, he was touched. You know, he was molested by his mom's boyfriend, who was into little boys, like a little pedophile. Walter was molested by him and touched by him. And, you know, he used to always show Walter the same sex type of videos between, you know, teenage boys and men. And, you know, when the mother would come around, she didn't notice the signs. He was scared to tell his moms. And the guy kind of had some feel with him, so he didn't tell. And what the thing was about the guy was, for enough for him to have sex with his moms, because he wasn't really attracted to his moms, he was attracted to Walter, like little boys. And he was attracted to boys at the ages between like 12 to like 15. That was his range. Anything older than that, he didn't find them appealing. So Walter, he met his moms when he was like 13. So he was molesting Walter for like 2 years until he hit 15. And Walter started having like other boys come over to the crib, like his friends. The guy was intrigued by them because they was probably like maybe a year or two younger than Walter. So he would try to like convince Walter to bring them over. But them boys was more into girls, and they was alert about being touched by pedophiles and all that. They was their parents taught them how to maneuver with shit like that. So one of the boys peeped the situation and see how he was close with Walter. And he asked Walter, he was like, yo, Walter, like, he like asked him, he's like, yo, he been touching you, bro? So Walter like, what you mean? Like he been touching you? Like trying to have sex with you? So the boy looked at him and he was like, yeah, those are the signs, bro. Like, our parents taught us shit like that. And when the prey becomes a predator, that shit, it moves on. Like, so Walter was like, what you mean? Like, because Walter didn't know this stuff. He kind of was like thrown back from it. Like, I don't know. Like, and then, because that day, they had like a little sleepover. And that night, Walter was trying to sleep in the bed with one of the boys. He's like getting close with him. He was in the bed naked. And he just said, like, he told the boy, like, oh, this is cool. Like, and he was like, nah, bro, this ain't cool. Get off me. So the boy started fighting Walter, beating him up. And Walter, like, had, like, retarded strength that he didn't know. And he kind of, like, knocked the boy out. And when the boy was, like, knocked out cold, his pants was down, his ass was showing. And so Walter was about to, like, get on top of him because he had an erection. The tussling fight kind of excited him. The other boy woke up and saw him. And Walter kind of like just stopped because he was like in the middle about to put his thing in this boy. So the boy was like, oh, nah, this ain't. The boy was like taken back. He ended up getting the boy up, and they ended up, you know, calling their parents. And the mother was like blown away from what just happened. She was shocked like this was going on. So they called, you know, the parents called the cops or whatever. And they was talking to Walter, and they was asking him like, where'd you get this kind of like, this behavior from, basically? And he was just like, oh, step hops. So the mother brought up the step hops, and like, he been showing him videos. And like, what kind of videos he been showing you? He was like, guys and little boys. So after that situation, the step hops kind of like disappeared from the scene. He kind of went on a run and he disappeared when that shit took place. Walter ended up going through his life, you know, looking at basically gay porn. When he hit high school, he was into one of these gay guys that was at the school. But before like he got into him, he was this girl that, you know, found him attractive, was into him, and she had him aroused during class, and he was like, yo, let's go somewhere so we can, you know. And he kind of like looked down to let her know, like, yo, my thing hard. And she was like, for real, can I see it? And she was taken back, like how big it was. So what he ended up doing is basically, he ended up raping the girl, right? And when I say he raped her, it's because the girl like led him on. And she was like, oh, I was only playing. Like, the girl was a virgin. But she was a virgin, and she thought, you know, doing that to him was okay. And it was like a prank for her to do because her homegirl set him up, because Walter wasn't really a nobody in the school. Nobody really paid him no mind. He really was to himself in high school, and she basically manipulated him and played mind tricks with him, got him aroused. And when he got aroused, she was surprised how big his dick was. And when he whipped it out in front of her, she was like taken back, like, oh, you ain't putting that shit in me. I'm a virgin. Like, she like started pleading, like, I'm a virgin. I can't do that. Like, he's like, what you mean? So when she started to walk away, he grabbed her. And y'all know the bleachers at the high school that come out when you push the button? He kind of like threw her in there, and he went to work on her, and he raped her. He put his whole horse leg deep in her, and he was excited from it. And he went to work on her. He really went to work. And then when he like ejaculated, he ejaculated so much it was pouring out her. And she was sitting on the floor, cuddled up, bleeding and full of, men stuff in her. You feel what I'm saying? So after that happened, she was left there. Somebody found her hours later there. They didn't know who did it. She was too traumatized to speak on it. She didn't go to school for the rest of the year. Now the year went on. School happened. Walter ended up graduating. Nobody knew nothing about what he did. So he raped somebody. He did not know he raped somebody. He thought he was having sex, but he physically forced himself on somebody. And it's things from the trauma he was facing when he was like a early teen, when the mother boyfriend was on him. So every now and then, since that incident, him and the mother would talk, and he wouldn't tell his mother like the time, like when he has these erections or he has these sex thoughts. He wouldn't tell her that because it would just make his mother worried, and then she got to report it, and everything. So he was seeing a therapist for it, and he's basically telling the therapist like he think he likes girls and guys, and the therapist is asking him like why. He's like, I had my first experience with a girl, and it was lovely. It was very lovely. He explained it in full detail, gruesome. He left out the part where he like forced himself on her. He was just like, it was so nice. She was so with it. It was lovey-dovey, and she bled. So the therapist was like, oh, she was a virgin. He was like, oh, that's what it. And then the therapist was explaining to him like, yeah, when a girl's first time pop her cherry and she bleeds out, that means she's a virgin. And then he asked, is this the same guy for guys? Because he's like, no, for guys it's pretty much different. It's the first time a man is doing stuff like that. It's going to be a little different. It's going to feel a little different. So he was like, oh. And then he was like, that's what it meant for me, because after a while, I couldn't sit down. He was telling the doc, like, I couldn't sit down for a couple days because it hurt in my butt. And he was like, that was from when you was being, sexually assaulted by your mother's boyfriend. He was like, yeah. He like, after a while, I just got used to it and enjoyed it. And he kind of thought that was the way how it was supposed to be. He thought that's how sex and all that is supposed to be. Like, that's supposed to be like that aggressive, that strong, that forceful. He thought that's what it was. So that's what he did to the girl. But he also had like sexual thoughts of men. Men was like a big arousement when he seen like certain things on guys, like when he seen like the dudes who play sports sweating, or he seen them flexing their muscles, that aroused him. Like that had him thinking about, damn, I could fuck that nigga. Like he was thinking like that in his mindset because of what he been through. So after high school, not even after high school, his senior year of high school, this one particular, feminine boy who was feminine, but he didn't classify himself as gay. He hanged around a lot of females. Walter thought he was, a very attractive man. So Walter approached him, was like, what up? So the dude looked at him like, yo, like, I'm a boy. Like, you talking to me? Like, a lot of dudes in the school don't even talk to me. Like, he's like, I thought you was a cool dude. I thought you was funny when you was acting like that. So they became like pretty cool, cordial in a sense over time. The dude didn't want to be seen talking to Walter because they thought he was a weirdo. He thought Walter was a weirdo. He's this big, nerdy, black kid. He's like, 6'8", 280 damn pounds and shit like that. So the feminine boy didn't want to be seen with him, so he used to always tell Walter like, "Oh, meet him over here," and then da 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 da. Walter had his first sexual relationship with him, and the boy knew he was gay, but he also asked Walter. He's like, "Are you gay?" And he was like, "No." So he was like, "So why you like kissing on me and things?" And he's like, "I just find you cool. I like you. That's it. I ain't really look at you as gay or anything. I look at you like a regular dude." So that kind of made the boy okay, and that made the boy feel like good and all that. That made the boy feel more comfortable about the nigga and shit. So the boy was like, "I ain't never done it with a guy before." So Walter was like, "It's all right." So the boy invited Walter over to his crib. Feel me? The boy was like, "I got the free crib. My pops ain't home. Pull up." So they went to his crib. They chilled. The boy was into smoking cigarettes. Walter wasn't. So they was chilling, talking. The boy had a bunch of other men, exclusive pictures in his room. He was showing them the Playboy gay magazines, and Walter was like getting aroused off of that. And the boy noticed. He was like, "Yo, you all right down there?" He was like, "Nah, this stuff is just cool." He was like, and the boy said something to him that kind of opened him up, like, for you not to be into dudes like you say you are, you sure are getting excited by it. He's like, "What do you mean getting excited?" It's like, "Your thing down there." He's like, "Oh," and like Walter didn't kind of comprehend excitement. He didn't comprehend that type of stuff. So he was like, "Oh, so I get excited or watching or looking." He was like, "Yeah." So he was like, then he asked the boy, he's like, "Do you get excited?" He was like, "It depends." And then the boy was like, "I'm a little excited now. Like so he was like, "Would you get excited if I show you what I got?" So the boy was like, "You gonna show me?" So Walter stand up, pulled his pants down, and the boy was like taken back. He was like shocked, because the nigga had a whole horse leg, and he was like, "Damn, that's a lot. It's big." And the boy started like touching it, looking at it, and then Walter kind of like pushed his face towards it. He was like, "Lick on it." The boy was like, stank a little bit, like. So the boy was like, "I'm scared. I can't. It's my first time. I don't think we should do this." He was scared. So Walter was like, "What? What? Come on, like, come on, let's do it." He was like, "Nah, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared." So when the boy told him no, Walter took that as like, "What? Nah, we not doing this. We fucking." So the dude was like, "Nah, get out. You got to get out. My mom on her way. You got to go." The boy was like, "Nah, I ain't leaving till Walter was like, "I ain't leaving till I get some." And the boy was in the crib walking around in his little booty shorts, like basically showing off. But it's not until Walter was really like on him and he was scared and he didn't really want to do it. So what Walter did, he went home, he was watching some type of like jail movie or documentary, and where it showed like the men took a little oil ointment, put it on the boy. So Walter did that same thing. He knocked the boy out, like he punched him in his face. The boy was knocked out. He seen the Vaseline in the boy room. He put it on the boy, you know what I mean, rear end, and he stuck his whole manhood in him. And the boy came to and was like, "Ah!" He was screaming. He raped the boy. After he raped him, he left him there. And then he left. Came back to school the next day like nothing happened. Boy didn't come to school. They say he didn't show up to school for like the first two weeks. He didn't show up. When they was asking him what happened and all that, and every time he seen Walter, he got scared. And Walter was talking to him like it was nothing. Like, "Yo, what up? Such and such." And he was just like, and the girls was like, "Yo, he don't want to talk to you. Leave him alone." And then the girl that Walter raped, she ended up coming back to school. And she actually told her boy, and she was like, "Yeah, Walter raped me." And the boy was like, "Yeah, he did it to me too. He did it to me too." So they eventually told on Walter for rape. He got charged, and he got sent to jail. And in jail, he got sentenced for like 10 years, maybe more. It was like 10 or some shit like that. And in jail is where he saw a lot of the dudes in there. And he was like fascinated. And he became the prey. He became the prey. He was in there preying on the new dudes. He was preying on the gay ones. And the thing about him that excited him was when they fought back. When they fought back, it turned him on even more, and he went to raping. He raped, since he'd been in jail, he raped about 6, 7 dudes. All of them. And the ones that fought back let him know they not with the shits. Got his ass beat. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Oh, man. The story is crazy. That's the story of Walter, man. Story of Walter. Be careful who you let your kids around. Women or men. Because they be, nowadays, you know, these adults is preying on these young kids. These young teenagers. They having sex with these older people. And they don't know whether if it's good or bad, or if it's, you know what I mean? So just be mindful who you got your kids with. Because it's sick people out here that's preying on these little kids, man. They preying on them. You know what I mean? You got pedophiles out here trying to see 13, 14-year-old boys and girls. And that's sick. Especially if you got kids. God bless y'all kids, man. Look out for them. Teach them that this is not okay. You know what I mean? Like, especially these young girls, because they like older men. You know what I mean? Teach them the right way, man. Watch out for your kids. Watch out who you around your kids. It's your boy Carter TV, man. I'm out, man.